So I thought I'd share with you the way that I read tarot, and well, this is a simple spread using the directions and runes. So I made this sheet that you can see quite a while ago now. I think I was about 15 or 16 when I made this. And it's got like what the runes actually mean written down there with like because I can read and write runes. It just means that there's a bit of a prompt so I can remember. And then, yeah, and I've got that on both sides so I can remember what, if I need a little bit of a prompt. And then in the middle, I've made this grid where there's the central point, which is spirit. And then I've got the north, physical, east, air, south, fire, and west, water. And yeah, I just drew this on a piece of cloth, which fits nicely into my rune bag with my runes, which is a bag. This was all for my Tudor reenactment that I work at. So I use my runes at the Tudor reenactment. So it's all done in so that it would work authentically for Tudorland. And then when I do the reading, so I'll start in the north because obviously we're doing tend to go in the clockwise circle. If you're doing good magic, then it's clockwise. If you're doing dark magic, then it's anti-clockwise. But I don't think that it really matters. So north, I've pulled a rune, and the rune is for, I find that runes tend to be kind of quite loving. I sort of think of them as feminine. I feel like they're a softer, gentler kind of prompt as to where things are at. I feel like they're kind of like, this is where things are at. So I did one for the north, then one for the east, one for the south, one for the west. And then in the middle would be like the questioner. So I would put in the middle, so this was, what's the card? Oh yes, spiritual gift with the reading that I just did. So we'll say, yeah, okay, where, like if this was a reading for a person, then that would be the person in the middle. And this would be like what's physically going on for you, what's happening in your kind of communication and your wisdom, like your like thinking, your brain, what's happening sort of emotionally and passionately, and then what's happening in your kind of silent wisdom, like your deeper wisdom, spirituality. So that's how I do a reading. And then with these cards, these are Sassy She cards, which are amazing. They're by Lisa Lister, which I'll put in the recommendations list. And I pulled one for each of these, and these tend to be like, so these are like, female archetype cards, but I've pulled one of them for each of the directions as well, as like kind of prompt of like your she prompt from the goddess. And then I've pulled a Thoth tarot card for each of them as well, and then they tend to be more instructional. So I've pulled one for each of them. So this reading here is actually for the lunar ceremonies that we're about to begin. So the north will be for the woman who is doing the north ceremony, which is the dark moon. And then the east is the first quarter moon. And then south is the full moon, and west is the third quarter moon. And then in the middle is spirit, which was for me and also for the wonderful Louise O'Mahony, who's going to be doing the costumes for our ceremonies, which I'm really excited about.